Jackson 16 WAPT News begins with breaking news.
And we do have some breaking news right now. The city is addressing Jackson's current water outage. Let's go ahead and listen in live.
To the city using JH Fuel and the membrane side at O.B. Curtis. As a result of yesterday, we dropped below 65 PSI, which is a threshold, and so we had to issue a citywide boil water notice for all of our citizens who are on the surface water side. As of today, from our calculations, looks like we probably had at some point from late yesterday to today, early this morning, we probably had about 10 to 15,000 customers who were out of water completely during that time. As we went through the night and later today, we have seen our pressure increased from below 65 PSI up to near 78 to 80. Ultimate goal is to get somewhere around 85 PSI, pushing toward 90. We hope to achieve that by Thursday if all goes well and we don't have any delays or setback. As it relates to those customers, a majority of those customers should be back in water. And we have received very limited calls today as far as no water. We have received some calls for low water pressure, but those are primarily residents who live in South Jackson and West Jackson. I did have an opportunity to check a couple of areas in South Jackson along Forest Hill Road in that area who experienced the brunt during the winter storm. They do have water, but it is low, somewhere around 10 or 11 PSI. We would like to see that somewhere around above 20 PSI in order to get them off of a boil water notice. As it relates to the citywide boil water notice itself, we are talking with the health department of when we can begin the sampling process. There's some information that we'll need to provide to them before they give the green light on that, but we are working with them. We hope that some point tomorrow or even maybe Thursday, depending on their decision for the allowance of us to start sampling. Obviously, we're going to have 2 consecutive days of good samples before the boil water notice can be lifted. But the areas currently right now that are seeing their pressure increased, which is probably in northeast Jackson and probably in the Fondren area, they will be lifted obviously earlier than those areas in South Jackson just because they're seeing more of an increase in pressure. So once again, it's unfortunate that our residents who live in South Jackson, obviously are probably going to have to wait a little bit longer before that boil water notice is lifted. But, that's something that we identified earlier this year through the winter storm, and it's just one of the complexities of the system itself. I'll be happy to try and answer any questions you might have as relates to this crisis.
Can you tell us about the chemical, is this soda ash, the AH6?
No, it's not soda ash. It's basically aluminum chlorohydrate that allows us to treat the raw water that comes into the plant. We believe right now that we got a bad batch, and we had a very difficult time of trying to get it out of the basins. So we had to drop our basins, get it cleaned out, and as a result, that's a very timely process. And so we're trying to balance of keeping the pressure consistent on that side while we were treating the water and getting the water out of the system. But unfortunately, we just could not hold that 65 PSI. Fuel was trying to help out, but we just couldn't do it. So all of it kind of just fell apart yesterday.
So how did you get a bad batch, and how are you going to prevent that from happening again?
Well, Ross, that's something that we're going to have to investigate. That's something we're going to have to talk to the manufacturer about. Right now, our primary focus is obviously getting the water restored, getting the pressure back up, and getting out from under this boil water notice. That's going to lead to another discussion with the manufacturer once we get through this crisis.
Is it a human operator who discovered the problem with the chemicals, or was it one of the automated systems?
Our operator, a water operator who was on shift, discovered the issue. He was trying to utilize the ACH during the water process, but he just could not get the water where it needed to be before we can get it into the next step of the process. And so we ultimately had to shut it down.
Realistically speaking, are residents going to be able to get out from under this boil water notice this week, or is it going to be next week that MSTH is going to allow that?
Well, once again, we're going to provide that information to them. Hopefully we'll have that to them today, and then they'll make a decision. If we're able to start sampling in those areas, as discussed earlier, that are currently have that pressure back, we'll start that with the sampling in there first, but ultimately, we'll make our way down to South Jackson.
Why didn't we know until Monday about the boil water notice and the
because
Saturday.
because we were still above 65 psi. So the threshold is 65 psi. If we drop below 65 psi, we immediately have to notice through a precautionary boil water notice that the system has lost pressure beyond that threshold, and so that's why we released that statement out.
So you were dealing with the problem while the EPA Administrator Reagan was touring the O.B. Curtis with the mayor. At what point should residents have been notified that there's an issue, even without the drop in PSI?
Well, the only issue that we were having at that time, Ross, was, obviously the issue that was going on at the plant. We advised the mayor, we advised the EPA administrator's team about, the issues that we were having, but this is just a normal, really kind of normal thing that kind of goes along with the plant. Unfortunately, though, we had this bad batch of ACH. We couldn't predict that this was going to happen. I think we have to be cautious, though, about sending the wrong message out to the residents that if it isn't a issue of magnitude, obviously we want to get it out there, but this is something we felt like we could control. But once we noticed that it was beyond what we were capable of doing at that particular point, and it did below 65 psi, we immediately put that precautionary boil water notice out to our residents.
So there was no concern that the bad batch of chemicals could provide a threat to health and safety?
Yes, that's why we shut it down.
But you said you didn't shut it down until the PSI took it. I'm saying, could the chemicals itself have caused?
We had already shut the conventional side down.
Okay.
Yeah, we were not going to risk that. We were not going to put any water out of the system that was not in compliance. So the conventional side was shut down prior to the release of the precautionary boil water notice.
So you
Just to be clear, none of that water that was with the bad ACH got out.
No, it did not.
So you shut down the conventional side. You were trying to use the membrane side and fuel supply the system.
That's correct.
With the administrator here, can you talk a little bit about what you all discussed yesterday, kind of his initial thoughts when he toured the facility?
Well, what we wanted to present to him was obviously some of the work that we've done since the winter storm, but obviously still the work that needs to be done, and there's still a lot that needs to be done. And a lot of that's going to be attributed to available resources that hopefully will come through this infrastructure bill. And so we just wanted to put him on notice that, Jackson is an urban community that is dealing with aging infrastructure, especially on our water and sewer side. We really need those funds here in order to address the problems that our residents are facing through, obviously this crumbling infrastructure.
What was his reaction when you guys informed him of the problem yesterday at Curtis?
Well, he was very receptive to it, and I think from what I gathered from him, he kind of said, just kind of what he was wanting to see. This is, a lot of times we feel like that when we're not in a crisis, everything is going good. But I think he felt that, Jackson, when he toured the schools and he saw the condition of the plant, understood, all of the residents who were impacted by this no and low water pressure during that particular time. He really understood what our particular community has been going through and why those resources are needed for Jackson in order to make those necessary improvements.
Do we believe everybody has water now? Our residents have water in their homes?
When I would say probably if there are some residents who are without water, a majority of those called this morning, but that was at peak time. But some of the survey that I've done later today, prior to this press conference, some of the areas that I've checked, they've got their water restored, but it is low. But that is primarily in those areas in South Jackson.
Can you tell us how the operator noticed that this is a bad batch of this ACH?
Experience. He's been there for almost 15 to 16 years, and he understands that how the water how the ACA agent should be coagulating with the water. And when it was not coagulating with the water, he knew immediately that there were issues. And so they tried some different methods in order to mitigate it, but it just was not working. And so we decided to shut the conventional system down until we can get it resolved. And so we were operating at half capacity of the plant along with fuel.
And what would have happened if some of that chemical had gotten into the water system and just even people people possibly drink?
Well, I won't get into that, but I would say this: it would be a compliance issue where our turbidities would have risen and we would have been out of compliance, so we would have had to shut the plant down anyway. But it would never would. The way that our processes are now, Ross, it would go through that particular protocol. We would immediately have to shut it off because the way that it registers on our SCADA system, it lets us know that we can't release that water.
Last question, please.
With the output that O.B. Curtis and Fuel have right now, was there really a hope that you could keep the system above 65 PSI after shutting the conventional site down?
Yes, we've done it before. But it's just unfortunate, though, while you're trying to do that, you only have a limited amount of time because at some point you have to do maintenance. You can only push water out so long, and then you have to take a step back and fill your clear wells back up. So, obviously, this is not a position that we want to be in, right? And I hope that we don't get amnesia about the system itself and how vulnerable it is and why it's important for us to continue to push as far as making the necessary improvements, not just when we have a crisis, but continual improvements throughout the city, moving forward.
Thank you all. And one additional point, if there are some citizens who need water, there's water being provided over at the Metro Center.
Do we know what
What's the time?
Now,
Now
till it's out. They have at least 5 pallets, the last I was told. Yep.
The city wrapping up its news conference on Jackson's current water situation. The notice was first sent out last night saying there were complications at the O.B. Curtis water treatment plant over the weekend with a bad batch of chemicals, and that led to low to no water pressure throughout the city yesterday, even forcing schools to go virtual because of the water problems today. City engineer Dr. Charles Williams says at the height of this problem, it caused complete water outages for 10 to 15,000 customers. Well, today he's saying the pressure in the system is gradually increasing and hopes to have water restored to everyone fully by Thursday. The city is working with the state health department on when they can begin sampling water in order to lift the boil water alert. And we are continuing to follow this story. You'll find new details first on WAPT.com and the 16 WAPT mobile app. We'll also have live reports with the latest updates throughout this evening's newscasts. We now send you back to our regular programming.